Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we're talking about Seeking Alpha Premium and if it's actually worth your money. Because every investment website tries to get you to pay for premium features. But if you're just an everyday investor, does it really make sense and do you really need it? Now, last year, I talked about why I wasn't renewing my Morningstar subscription, but obviously if you watch my channel, you know that I use Seeking Alpha a lot, and it shows up in just about every single one of my videos. So clearly I like their service. So in this video, we're going to go in depth into Seeking Alpha Premium and the value that I get out of the service personally. So by the end, you have a good idea of what features you get as a premium member versus a free member, plus who I think their premium features make the most sense for, and maybe more importantly, who probably doesn't need to buy premium and can get along just fine with a free account. So here's what you can expect to see in this video. What features are available for free? What are the best premium features and what value do you actually get from each one? Are there any free alternatives? Who is Seeking Alpha Premium probably best for, and who probably doesn't need it? And then lastly, what it actually costs and how to get it. And look, you might be wondering if this video is just a Seeking Alpha affiliate trying to get you to click their link. And hopefully if you've been on my channel before, you know that that's not really how I do things here, but I get it. We've been conditioned to be skeptical, and that's okay. So for full transparency, I am a Seeking Alpha affiliate and I do have an affiliate link. I did a free trial for Premium back in June because I liked the free features and then decided to pay for a full 3-year subscription myself because of how much value I got out of it. So I was already a paying customer using the service every day before I became an affiliate. So I just wanted to be completely transparent with you guys as usual, and hopefully this video at least gives you the information you need to make the right decision for yourself. But for now, let's dig into the review. If you've ever used the Seeking Alpha website, you know that there's a ton of great information there for free. Most of what I use to evaluate stocks is actually available without premium. All of their dividend stats like payout ratio and dividend growth, their profitability stats like profit margin and income margin, their growth stats where I look at revenue and free cash flow growth, and also the company financials, charting, and momentum, which all allow me to see how they performed over time. But for those last 3 features, you only get up to 5 years of data for free. All right, so enough of the free stuff. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, these are what I think the best premium features are in order. 10 years of data, unlimited access to articles and transcripts, ratings data, history and alerts, and stock and ETF screeners and lists. Now, there are other features like export options for peer comparisons that also come with premium, but I'm going to focus on these for this video since they're the most valuable ones to me. So let's dive into each one so you can see exactly what they are. So first off, 10 years of data. Basically, anytime that I evaluate a stock and I look at their financials or their performance versus S&P 500 or their shares outstanding or historical price metrics or just about anything, having 10 years of data compared to 5 really helps. Now, let me give you a couple examples. When I was evaluating Coca-Cola, if you just look at the last 5 years of revenues, what you see is a steady uptrend with one blip in 2020, which should probably have been expected with the pandemic. But if you zoom out to 10 years, you see that they were actually on a downtrend for 4 straight years before this most recent uptrend. Now, does that change our evaluation of Coca-Cola? No, probably not. But you can see how having those extra 5 years can really give you a slightly different perspective on how they've been performing. And here's another example. If we look at the price metrics for McDonald's over the past 5 years, we see that price to earnings and price to cash flow look attractive compared to previous levels if you exclude the 2020 pandemic dip. But if you zoom out to 10 years, you see that it was lower than that for pretty much all of 2014 to 2017. So again, it doesn't necessarily change your opinion on McDonald's, but you can easily see how having that extra 5 years of data can really change your perspective on how a company's doing or what price their stock is trading at. Okay, let's talk about unlimited access to articles and transcripts. Now, I had the 10-year data feature as the top one because I really think it's table stakes in being able to evaluate a stock. Like, you need that 10 years of data. But I actually think the unlimited articles and transcripts is the most valuable premium feature there is. I've learned a ton about stocks and my own evaluation method by reading those. And just for clarity, you get up to 1 article or transcript a day just for free, but with premium, you get unlimited articles and transcripts. Plus, you can see right from the article list if the author rated it a buy, hold, or sell, which means that you can kind of skim it real quick to see what the sentiment is overall. Now let's talk about the analysis articles first. These are written by Seeking Alpha contributors, and as you can imagine, the experience level, skill level, style, and all of that will vary quite a bit from author to author. And of course, that means that some are definitely going to be better than others, like you would expect. But what I love about having so many analysis articles available is it helps me learn something new all the time. Now let me give you a couple examples. Now, this analysis on American Express was great, even though I disagreed with the conclusion. The author had a sell rating on Amex, but what I liked best about this article is that it dove into the American Express risk factors as a bank aspect more than others did. Most people talk about Amex and their cards because that's what we think about when we think about that company. But this dove into the challenges with their deposits growth and the impact of rising interest rates, where they have to pay out more in interest in order to keep those deposits as customers look for yield. And now that might seem like a basic example, but if you have someone that's only looked at Amex as a credit card company, then analysis like this can open their eyes a little bit to the other risks that they need to evaluate if they're going to invest in that stock, even if they disagree with the author's conclusion. And you can usually find those type of things in most articles. This is just one specific example. Another great example was this recent Apple analysis talking about their cash neutrality policy and why they think it'll lead to higher shareholder returns due to increased dividends or buybacks. And this is great for two reasons. One, I didn't realize Apple had a cash neutrality policy. And two, I saw a different article that actually said their policy would lead to decreased buybacks as their cash position goes down. And you might be wondering, but then why is that great? It's great because it really caused me to think about the policy and what I think will actually happen with it and how those two opposing views might be different. So remember, I'm not always looking for answers. Sometimes I'm just looking for new information that I can have my own perspective on. And to me, that's the real power of the analysis articles because you can really learn a lot. And now if we switch over to the transcripts, I love the transcripts because it gives me easy, searchable access to management's earnings calls. So when I'm researching a stock and I want to go back through to see how they forecasted, executed, and how they act when something goes wrong, it helps give you an idea of how the company is run and how their management team performs. I use this for just about every stock that I'm evaluating, and Starbucks was a great example of this in 2023. Being able to follow along in their performance quarter over quarter to see how they responded from a bad Q1 to go on and exceed their full year expectations is all there in the transcripts. And obviously, a lot of this information can be found in their press releases and earnings related articles, no question. But being able to search transcripts allows you to find out specific information you're wondering about that maybe isn't always included in the press release. What did Tim Cook say about Apple's investments in AI? What is Dollar General doing about shrink in their stores? What is Coca-Cola's plan around dividend growth for the future? All of those things can be found in the transcripts. So for me, access to unlimited articles and transcripts is worth the price of Seeking Alpha Premium by itself because I get so much value out of it and I learn a ton by being able to read different perspectives and company earnings calls. All right, so let's talk about ratings. Now, Seeking Alpha has ratings data, history, and alerts across a number of different aspects of a stock. They have overall ratings for quant, which is the quantitative rating based on the stock's individual factors. They have Seeking Alpha Analyst Rating, which is an aggregate of the opinions of the contributors to the site. And they have Wall Street Analyst Ratings as well that show the current average rating along with historical, which is pretty cool. Additionally, there are ratings on lower level stock measures like dividends, valuation, growth, and profitability. And with individual grades provided for just about every lower level data point so that you can compare how that specific stock ranks up against other companies in its sector. And this holds true for ETFs as well, which is really nice since you can check grades on things like risk, liquidity, and expenses in addition to dividends. Being able to see ratings and ratings history over time is really nice if you want to be able to see how well it's actually predicted a stock's performance. And lastly, ratings alerts allow you to get notified anytime a stock you're interested in has a rating change, and you can do it for any of the 3 overall ratings that are available. So I don't personally use the rating stuff too much on Seeking Alpha because in general, I'm just kind of digging in to do my own analysis, but it is nice to have a quick visual to see how a company stacks up against its competitors or other companies in the sector. At a minimum, if I see a rating that I don't understand, it'll make me dig in a little more to try to know what's going on. And I know a lot of folks like using ratings in a similar way so they can get a quick ballpark on where a company is on certain metrics compared to other stocks that they're considering. Another feature of Seeking Alpha Premium is the stock and ETF screeners and list. So for folks trying to find new opportunities or stocks and ETFs that meet your specific criteria, Seeking Alpha provides a top stocks list, which shows the top rated stocks based on your input criteria. So you can update the filters to be anything you want. In this case, let's get the top rated stocks by growth, profitability, with a decent valuation and dividend growth higher than 8% over the past 5 years. And then it spits out the stocks based on overall rating. So pretty cool stuff. Obviously, you can tweak the filters however you want, and this becomes pretty powerful. The top ETF feature is the same, but for ETFs. And also, the stock and ETF screeners allow you to do similar things, just starting your query completely from scratch. So for discovery of new ideas, this can be a really good first step to digging into something new, especially if you're looking for more small to mid-cap companies or more obscure ETFs that you don't know by name. And with the amount of filters available, you can really dial in different combinations depending on what you're looking for. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of good stuff, but are there things on Seeking Alpha that I don't really like? Now, if you remember, one of the big cons I had with Morningstar was that you couldn't access their features on mobile very well. They didn't have a mobile app, and their website wasn't optimized for mobile use, so you really couldn't use it there at all. Well, Seeking Alpha has a dedicated mobile app where you can access the same features, monitor your portfolio, and get notifications and alerts, which is pretty cool. But outside of that, there's really only 3 small things that I have. So one, the price to cash flow measure uses operating cash flow and not free cash flow. Now, my preference would be to have the free cash flow number, which would take out any capital expenditures. And actually, ideally, I would like the price to cash flow number that also takes out stock-based compensation, because that's what I actually do in my spreadsheet. I understand that others prefer to use price to cash flow and not price to free cash flow, but it would just make it easier for me if it was there. And 2, another thing is that I had some issues trying to customize alerts on mobile. Now, Seeking Alpha actually gives you a ton of flexibility when it comes to alerts. You can add alerts for each individual holding, for your portfolio, obviously for the newsletters that they have. But the thing that got me was I wanted mobile alerts for certain stocks, but I only wanted news articles and not analysis articles. So basically, I only wanted news alerts for certain stocks as opposed to every analysis article that was written by Seeking Alpha contributors. Now, for most stocks, this isn't even an issue because they're only getting a couple of articles a week. But for stocks like Apple, I was getting notifications all throughout the day. So as you can see, if you choose email alerts, you can pick between analysis or news or both. But if you choose mobile, you get them all and you can't really distinguish between the two. On one hand, Seeking Alpha gives you more flexibility than any other service I've seen in terms of alerts, but I just need that one extra feature of being able to turn off analysis articles for a stock on mobile. And lastly, 3, this really isn't a big deal either, but if you have a free account, then obviously you should expect ads to pop up that try to get you to upgrade to premium. Now, this is no different than any other site. Of course, they're offering free features in the hopes that you'll sign up for premium too, which is totally normal. Now, again, I know I'm probably nitpicking on these, but these are things that I noticed, so I wanted to share them with you guys. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff, and I know your first question is, but wait, can't I just get this stuff for free in other places? And the answer is, in some cases, yes, but not totally. Now, obviously, for ratings, you won't be able to get that anywhere else since they're specific to Seeking Alpha. For 10 years of data, you can get that from other websites, but obviously it'll be in a different format. And technically, you can get 10 or more years of financial statements from their SEC filings as well, but that would be a total pain. In terms of articles and transcripts, the articles, again, are specific to Seeking Alpha, so those aren't available anywhere else. Transcripts in general are available at other websites, like Motley Fool I think does them, as well as a bunch of others. Also, many companies publish transcripts of their earnings calls on their own investor relations websites, so it's definitely available for free. And then in terms of stock screeners and comparison tools, different websites are going to have different functionality. So it just depends on if you're looking for things that are specific to Seeking Alpha or not. Okay, so if a lot of these things are available for free in other places, why would you pay for Seeking Alpha Premium? So I told you guys that I don't really use the ratings all that much, and most of what I use can be found for free in other places except for the Seeking Alpha analysis articles. But here's the thing. 1, the articles are a huge value to me, and 2, having all of the ETF data there in a similar format to the stocks that I'm researching is really helpful, and 3, just because I can find it somewhere else for free doesn't mean that it's worth my time and effort to do so. And this gets me to my next point. Who is Seeking Alpha Premium best for? I think Premium is perfect for investors who are investing in individual stocks and are frequently researching and monitoring companies for their portfolio, and or are investing in and researching a wide range of ETFs. And the reason I say that is because Premium makes Seeking Alpha a one-stop hub to be able to do all of that. And just to show you what I mean, I did a video in June talking about 5 free stock research tools that I use every day. And I went through each one and what it provided me. Seeking Alpha was one of those free tools that I was using at the time, but when I upgraded to Premium, I stopped needing to use the other 4. At that point, I could just about get everything from one place instead of having to go to 5 different places. So for someone like me who's researching stocks just about every day and monitoring my portfolio companies, being able to have everything in one place really speeds up my research, and the consistency between stocks and ETFs just makes digging into whatever I'm looking at much easier. I can see how my portfolio is doing for the day, or when my companies are reporting earnings, when their next dividend payments are going to be, look at the latest earnings press release, quickly dig into their financials, search through their earnings call transcript, look at their earnings presentation, access their 10K, and be able to dive into hundreds of perspectives and analysis that also show how the stock has performed since they made their rating. And being able to do that all in one place, either on my computer or on my phone, is really worth it to me in terms of the time that I save and speeding up my research. Okay, but if that's who Premium is best for, who probably doesn't need Premium? Now, if you're an investor that isn't frequently researching individual stocks or have multiple companies that you have to monitor, or if you're just investing in a few ETFs and focusing on increasing your contributions and not expanding your investment holdings at this time, then the added features of Premium probably don't make a lot of sense, at least for now. Because for what you need, you can probably just get directly from the ETF's website or the company's investor relations page. And for those folks, I would just maybe consider a free account because you can still monitor your portfolio, get the latest relevant news, and some minimal access to some of the other features. So that way you can get a taste of what they're like in case you start researching stocks or different ETFs in the future. And even if you don't want to create an account, the public side of the site is still helpful, which is actually how I started using Seeking Alpha to begin with. Okay, we've talked about a lot, so let's dig into the details of what Premium actually costs. Now, normally Seeking Alpha Premium costs $239 a year, so about $20 a month. But they frequently do promotions like the $189 a year promotion that they've had going on for a couple months. But currently they have a Black Friday sale going on for $167 a year from now to December 5th. So if you were thinking about trying out Premium, now is definitely a good opportunity to do so. Now, like I told you, I am a Seeking Alpha affiliate, so if you end up using my link to sign up, I do get a commission at no additional cost to you. My link is down in the description of this video, or you can go to buildinvestlive.com/SeekingAlpha. Now, if you're watching this video after December 5th, check down in the description below, and I'll update it with the most recent promotion that's happening at that time. Hope this video helped, and if you guys have any additional questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. Hope you guys have a great day out there. Financial independence is true freedom, so keep building and stacking wins, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.